Hi, my friends. I'm Dr. Stephen Clark Bradley, and this is what I think. What I think is that, wow, what a great, successful, and powerful and patriotic RNC convention. I listened to Donald Trump's speech last night, and I didn't need reminded, but it just enthused me and invigorated me to get out there and to try to get everybody I can to vote for President Trump, just like I'm doing right now. Many of you should be doing what I'm doing. I'm sure we all have our different ways, but this is for the sake of the nation. This is not about Donald Trump. This is not about the government. This is about the people, making sure that we can maintain our peace, making sure that we can go out on our streets safely. You saw what happened to Rand Paul last night, Senator Paul. He left the White House and several others, and they were bombarded and almost could have been killed by Black Lives Matter thugs. They are nothing but thugs, and they need to be defeated. Antifa too. It's going to come down to a real war with these guys. This has nothing to do with protests, and it has nothing to do with police being bad. This is about trying to take over our government, and we cannot be allowed. But I want to talk to you today. It's going to be in two different videos. I have a lot of things I want to say today. It's called, Here's What I Think. I have a lot of stuff on my mind. And so I want to talk to you about what are the reasons why we should vote for Donald Trump. I think we saw several of these during the convention. And there are so many really great reasons why we need to re-elect Donald Trump. He's not perfect. We don't want a perfect president. As one man said, if you ever find a perfect church, don't go there. It won't be perfect anymore. None of us are perfect. But he is the best man, the best person for the job in the day in which we live. Think about it. In the Great Depression, let's go as far back as the Civil War or even the Revolutionary War. When we were fighting the revolution, God raised up George Washington, the great general who won freedom for America. And then during the Civil War, God raised up Abraham Lincoln to fight and preserve the Union, that we could go on and become a more perfect Union and free the slaves and give everybody the right to vote and the right to have their say in the government and in the country. And then during the World War II, God raised up Franklin Roosevelt, so he could fight and defeat fascism and communism. God raised up Ronald Reagan to crush communism in the Soviet Union. And today, God has risen up Donald Trump, the great man that we need for this very day in which we live. And we cannot throw him away. Any nation that would throw away a leader like Donald Trump doesn't deserve to exist, doesn't deserve to prosper. If we get rid of him, it's like suicide. No, it is suicide, national suicide. And there is every reason and many reasons why we need to keep him. I wrote down a few things here. I'm just going to read them to you. And let me know if you want what you think about what I say. The president cannot be bought. This was mentioned last night. Nobody can buy Donald Trump. When he was running in the first election, he couldn't be bought. No one could take him. As a matter of fact, he didn't even take donations for his campaign in 2016 because he owes no man anything. Probably many people owe him more than he owes them. He cannot be bought. His life was set. He didn't need to be president. He didn't do this to build his life. His life was already built. He's doing this to help us build our lives. He's not trying to build our lives. That's the Democrats. Want to build your life the way they want it. He wants to make it possible for us to build the life the way we want it, individually. My life doesn't have to be your life, but we need to have the freedom to have the life that we choose. So we need to elect him because he cannot be bought. What about Joe Biden? Joe Biden is already purchased. China owns him. So many places own him because he took their funds, he took their money, and he enriched himself and his son on his name, and his brother, as a matter of fact. He's already bought and purchased, all right? How can he stand up to China and say they have to stop this or that, or not do this or that, when they already own him? He's purchased, but Donald Trump owes no man. He cannot be bought. And he cannot be bullied. Think about it. Who can bully Donald Trump? Nobody. Perhaps Melania. Every man's bullied by the woman he loves, if she tries. But in the political realm, in the governmental realm, in the financial realm, as he represents you and me, can anybody bully Donald Trump? He's not a bully either. Sometimes I think about myself when I think of him. When I was in high school, I was always bigger than the others. And when I saw someone bullied, I walked up and I bullied the bully. That's what Donald Trump has done. He's bullied the bullies. He's told them no. China, Russia, so many others, Europe, taking money back from them that they owed us, stop them from cheating us. He cannot be bullied, but he can bully the bully. And that's what America needs to do. We are the most powerful nation on earth. Nobody can bully us, but they did. Barack Obama. You remember Barack? Barack Hussein Obama? How many times did he bow? He bowed to the Saudi Arabian king, to so many others. Bowing to them. The president doesn't bow. He doesn't curtsy. He's respectful, but he can't be bullied. Barack Obama was. Joe Biden, he wouldn't know if he bowed or not. Joe Biden's already bullied by the Democrats, by Bernie Sanders, by AOC. They're all bullying him. They're the ones that took him from a fairly moderate Democrat and turned him into a socialist, into someone who was against funding abortions by the government, and turned him into someone who's willing to abort babies up to the 9th month when they're born. He can be bullied. He's already bullied. Think what he'll do on the international front. Donald Trump cannot be bullied. He's a man of the people, and he's full of resolve. He's got an overdose of it. And we need to vote for him and give him an overdose of vote and support. He's too strong and too tough for the deep state. That's why they hate him. They hate him because the deep state tries to defeat him, tried to bring him down. Fake reports, fake dossiers, fake prosecutors investigating his family, his administration, everything. Fake impeachment. And through it all, he stood up last night and said, I'm happy. And he said, I profoundly accept your nomination for president. Profoundly means he doesn't take it lightly. He knows what he's up against, and he knows what the next 4 years will be no easier than the first 4. But he knows he's doing it for us. And that's why I vote for Donald Trump. He's too strong for them. He's too tough for them because he doesn't care what they think. How do you think Joe Biden feels? How do you think? You think he cares what they think? Of course. He's got a vice presidential candidate who's just waiting for his heart to stop. That woman, I mean, I can't even stand the way she talks. He talks like this out her nose all the time. Yuck. I can't even stand the sound of her voice. At least Barack Obama was talented. At least he wasn't too hard to listen to. She talks right now. Sorry. But it's terrible. Why would he choose someone like that? He probably didn't choose. He was told to pick her. He doesn't do anything on his own. Bernie Sanders will really be the president. Can you imagine AOC in charge of our environmental policy, in charge of the EPA? Can you imagine Bernie Sanders, the Secretary of State? Can you imagine it? That's what's coming if Joe Biden wins. We have to re-elect Donald Trump. So let's ask ourselves now. You know, I listened to this man, Dan Scavino. He told the story last night how he met Donald Trump when he was 17 years old on a golf course as a caddy. And he's been with Donald Trump for the past 30 years, ever since. Because Donald Trump, a billionaire, saw something good in Scavino. And he's still with him today. And I like what he wrote. He wrote this. He said, what many call chaos, Trump calls change. Change is not easy, especially when you're dealing with swamp monsters. These people, they've been running the government, and they took this great system that the Constitution afforded us through our founding fathers, and they were able to manipulate it over many, many decades and even centuries now. into a great deep state that everything that's really happening is happening under the scum of the swamp. But they look at what Donald Trump's doing as chaos because it goes against everything they've been trying to do to control us and to enrich themselves. But Donald Trump calls chaos that he's creating change. Change is not easy, but we have to change. And change is not done. It's just begun under Donald Trump's first term. As I said before, the seeds are planted. Now we have to water them with the second term and watch them grow up. And once they blossom, the deep state will have nothing they can do to us. We've got to reelect him. And so what has he done in his first term? Let's look at a few points that Donald Trump has accomplished during his first term. One, he created the strongest economy in our history. Yes, COVID hit it, knocked it for a loop, but it's coming back. 9 million of the jobs that were COVID-induced losses have already returned. That V-shaped recovery is developing. And nobody had ever developed an economy like that. Blacks, Hispanics, women, and virtually all segments of our workforce were growing, but nobody experienced greater growth, greater success, better jobs, the smallest unemployment than blacks and Hispanics and women. 70% of all the jobs that Donald Trump created in the first term went to women. Think about that. So don't tell me they're not going to vote for him. That would be suicide, and women are smart, sometimes much smarter than us men. So he's done a great job. He believes in America's greatness, the greatness of America. I mean, what could be greater than what we are? And he is a man of the people. He is the most common billionaire that ever lived. You know, he is a billionaire, but he didn't just receive it from his father. He far outreached his father in what he accomplished. He's a great man. And I know Donald Trump has every reason why we should reelect him, and we must. Secondly, also, this whole convention was about real people, stories of real people's lives, not about Donald Trump only. Many of the stories showed and revealed the goodness of the man. That's important, because through all the fog and all the far-reaching lies about him, that he's evil this and evil that, we needed to hear those stories from people who have really benefited and love him because of who he is, not just what he did for them, but because of who he is. And what about Alice Johnson? He pardoned her. She was in prison 22 years for a small crime, and today she's free. She's free with her family because he showed her kindness. Today, he commuted her sentence, but this morning, he gave her a full pardon. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. What about John Ponder, the man who was in prison? During the convention, he gave him a full pardon too, because he's been helping so many prisoners get out of prison, do their time, and start a good life and a productive life outside of the prison as former offenders. Very important. During this, we saw a man named Max Alvarez from Cuba. Max is a very good businessman now, came here, as I talked about before. And he's the one who said, when I hear this talk from the Democrats about a Green New Deal, about defunding our police, about free education, about everything free, he said, that doesn't sound radical. It sounds familiar, because he lived it. And he came to this country to get rid of that. I have a very good friend who's from Lithuania, named Rolandas, and his wife. And they are teachers in America and Florida. And I told him the other day, I said, Rolandas, he's voting for Trump, of course. He and his wife, Raza, they're both voting for Trump. And I said, otherwise, if we get these guys in there, Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they'll just give you back what you left. We must, every reason why we must vote for Trump. And we will do so. And we will make sure that we keep America great forever.